an environment that allows business and the private sector to be able to do that. And this is important as well as part of that. And also, I think it would support more rapid private sector development. And then, of course, internally, as I talked about, the bank needs to be a lot more focused, a lot more selective, and really a lot more intentional about making sure that that foundational requirement for infrastructure that connects Africa together is there to facilitate this growth and development and self-reliance, greater self-reliance.
Before I come to your own particular approach to this, perhaps I would want to understand the bank itself. It is critical that it remains financially resilient. So while addressing Africa's pressing issues on the question of development and the needs that we have, what would you do to ensure that then the bank remains stable, and of course looking at your financial background for that matter?
So, I mean, I was there helping to develop the long-term financial sustainability framework, which is basically a framework that ensures that the bank manages its risks, financial risks, responsibly and sustainably. So it's an area I'm very comfortable in. I've been in finance and risk management basically my entire life. And I'm comfortable that within those constraints, in fact, it is possible to mobilize more resources and do more without putting the financial health of the bank at risk. An example, for instance, is that I was instrumental in making sure that the bank, introduces hybrid capital as a new source, a new instrument for mobilizing institutional funds from investors. So, reducing dependence on the sort of traditional funders. And we were able to do that in a way that still maintained and preserved the AAA rating of the bank. But having said that, I think that we have to understand that the MDBs, all of them combined, simply don't have the resources to fund all of Africa's requirements. So that private sector role is crucial. And I think that we can use our resources of MDBs a lot more cleverly and differently to make sure that we are de-risking and mitigating risk where necessary to allow the private sector to really come in at scale. But governments also have a responsibility to make sure that they create an environment for business that allows them to come in at scale.
And the private sector for that matter.
Exactly.
All right, back to what I had mentioned earlier on the question of infrastructure, as well as the element of finance and development for the private sector, as well as for Africa at large. We must admit that President Adesina has done a great job, at least so far. So in responding to this, how do you intend to introduce, your own leadership style and vision, such that then we can see, an elaborate and specific initiative towards addressing these concerns that you've made? Uniquely, what we'll be saying that now Madam President Swazi brings this. Madam President has left the reign, and this is what she has left.
So what I'm hoping that my vision will be able to deliver for Africa, because this is very important, because the African Development Bank is working to deliver for Africa.
Yes.
I am hoping that we have the kind of infrastructure that increases measurably the productivity of Africa. So that means that, as many Africans as possible have electricity, as many Africans as possible are connected to the internet, and as many Africans as possible are able to have access to roads and rail that allow them to trade, and that you have sufficient free movement in Africa, that the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement can actually become operational. Because, we can talk about the African Continental Free Trade Area as an objective, but there are things, that need to be in place to make it happen.